Call the work session to order, and good morning again to everyone. Good to see everyone this morning with always smiling faces. Did anyone sign up for public comment? Okay, we'll jump right into the agenda. You have the minutes of the commission meeting of August 18th, the work session minutes of August 17th, and the executive session summary of August 17th. So please review those before tomorrow. See if there's any additions or deletions that need to be made. We have a proclamation under tab 4 proclaiming September 18th, 2015 as Georgia Highlands College Day here in Douglas County, and Kathy Ledbetter, the campus dean, will be here to read that proclamation tomorrow. We have a resolution under tab 5, a resolution authorizing the execution and delivery of a master lease agreement for the lease purchase of a new fire apparatus, which is a pumper truck of the Douglas County Fire Department. Mr. Peacock.
Yes, sir. On July the 7th, the Commission approved the awarding of a contract to Fireline for the newest pumper truck. And we've contracted with SunTrust at an interest rate of 2.08%. The amount that would be financed under this lease purchase agreement is $369,989, just $370,000. The term is for 4 years. The first payment wouldn't be made until August in 2016, and this resolution is part of the requirements that we include in the documentation in the package to complete the lease purchase agreement.
Okay, and you said this is a 4-year lease, not
4
5
years.
years.
This is 4 years.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, comments or questions? Yes, Mr. Robinson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My question is, as we move forward in financing various capital equipment, and specifically, we've got this lease purchase that we're doing, this current one. Do we have any other financing of any other capital equipment that may be different than a lease currently in play?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Okay. So the SPLOST from 2002 was one financing vehicle, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, and this is one financing vehicle, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. And I'm just, as we, and the needs of the fire department I get is on us, it's needed. How do we balance the proper financing vehicle for these going forward? I mean, have we had any conversations within the administration? And I'll yield to Mr. Chairman on how he wants to address that. How are we going to balance this? Is this the best option for us?
I think it is the best option, Commissioner. It allows the growth, as you have growth within your county. It allows the new people coming in to be a part of the funding mechanism for capital projects. As far as we bought, Chief, this is our second pumper for the year, isn't that correct? Yes. Okay. You know, and we're about to go through the budgeting process. It's going to be left up to the commissioners. How do we do this in the future? We certainly have to have a funding mechanism to complete the capital expenditures that we're going to have. I think Mark and the chief and the assistant chief are working on a I don't know what kind of plan you would call this, but you will all see this during the budgeting process of what the chief feels we need to do on a, I wouldn't say a yearly basis, but on a more continuing basis until we make a decision as to whether we're going to ask the public for another SPLOST to fund capital projects. So it's a decision the board's going to have to make in the very near future.
Okay. And then, thank you, sir. And then, I guess, to that point, we've set up a new fire district. Is that not correct? As far as us being able to...
I don't know anything about a new fire district.
We're not no. I won't call it a fire district. We'll call it the
buckets.
Right. We'll just call it buckets. Thank you. They corrected it. We're on the same page.
That's what they call it, sir.
Buckets.
I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, just the buckets, where there was sort of a segregation of the money, right? So we can be more accountable. And I guess my question is capital addressed in there? Is that just strictly for maybe maintenance and operation?
Capital is addressed in service delivery strategy. Basically, I think there was a max on fire apparatus. Chief, help me out, and Mark, if I'm not incorrect here, that the city of Douglasville would participate in capital improvements up to $20 million on a new SPLOST. Is that not correct? far as Austell, they provide their own service, so they're not involved in it. And then Villa Rica, on a percentage, population percentage-wise, they would be in the run as well.
Okay, so for, in the event of a SPOS, we have addressed it, but as if there were no SPOS, then what would be the contribution for capital as it relates to fire specifically? Do we know, or did we address that?
Only, go ahead.
Sorry. The city of Douglasville pays the flat amount a year. And then the Austell, of course, does not participate in the fire because they have their own. And then Villa Rica, their contribution would be a percentage of their insurance premium tax.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Isn't it 40%? 40.05% of their insurance premium tax.
Okay, all right, that's what I was trying to get to. Okay.
And that we will collect in October.
Yes.
So we're carrying the burden for the most part, because Douglasville's providing a flat fee, so.
Yes, they're paying a flat fee, but I think the fee that they're paying now still has a little bit of a cushion for some capital. It's not like what they're paying now is only for maintenance and operation. All goes in that fire fund, and then we use those funds along with UNE contributes and the Villa Rica contributes for operations, maintenance and operations, as well as capital. But if there is a shortage, then it would be coming from UNE fund or half from the general fund.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I thank you for the conversation, because this is the first time we used the new SDS,
Yes.
operating segregation. So I just wanted to clarify how we were going about doing this and making sure that, again, we're mindful of other contributors to this capital expenditure that we're carrying.
Absolutely, and Commissioner, we have to take into consideration before this SDS delivery, we were getting zero.
Right.
Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
Is this, the first payment, does it have anything to do with the rollover from the fire, for a fire truck that was budgeted in 2013? I think the first truck that we bought was, right?
The first one was, the second one, no, it was budgeted. It was in this year's budget.
A different budget, okay. And so, but, did we lease the other truck? That we bought? We purchased it, so that used up the rollover money from 2013.
Part of it. Yeah, the rest of it were applied to the ambulance.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, sir.
There were some relevant points brought up about, I think, being more looking towards the future in terms of capital needs of fire services and how we fund those needs. What I would hope to see from the county administrator and the fire chief is what are the implications for a phased plan of replacement. Is it going to be over 5 years or 8 years or 10 years or whatever? And how is that best handled in terms of SPOS allocation, should there be a SPOS, or if there is not a SPOS, what are the tax implications for meeting these requirements? So it's kind of column A and a column B kind of situation. I think I would like to see, and probably other commissioners would like to see, when you do your analysis.
That is in the process right now, Commissioner, as you speak, that we're doing that.
And
Yes,
just to
sir.
add to the vice chair, I think you're right on point. I think that all the points are well taken, but at the end of the day, I think we need to look at what it's gonna take for us to get to where we need to be, having coverage of the entire county. Not to say 6 is enough, which I don't think it is. So realistically, what we take to not only get there, but on top of, if we phase it in, how do we get there? So what is that? What are those steps that we're taking? So.
Okay. And I disagree with you, Commissioners, for it, with us not having enough. We do have enough. If you take a look at the zones that we have, our fire zones are smaller than any county within the Atlanta region, I promise you that. They're covering more square miles than we are.
Okay.
Would you like to have an ambulance at every fire station? Yes, you would.
Okay.
But it's not that we're not serving any portion of Douglas County right now. Okay. All right, county administrative business, you have any, Mark?
No, sir.
Okay. Under tab 6, authorization to extend the NSP1 program in Douglas County through September 2016 as required by the Georgia Department of Community Affairs, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents. Tracy, you're up.
All right, just our annual extension we do every year. DCA is not closing out NSP1, so they just need a formal letter from us saying we desire to continue on in the program one more year. So we still have funding availability to do a few more houses, so we want to extend one more year with them.
Okay. Would you, in tomorrow's meeting, kind of give us an update from day one until today?
Absolutely.
Because I think the public would like to know how many houses we've purchased, how many we're going to purchase in the future, and things like that.
Yeah.
How are we as far as our bank account, how much money is in it? Yeah, how much is left?
Yeah.
But if you give us an update tomorrow, I think that'd be good for the public.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah, and to that point, again, when you look at a program, and we're, we try to sort of establish how effective was it, right? So we're using these federal dollars to address, it was a housing crisis. It was post-recession that we began to embrace this. But in the scheme of our foreclosures, and in the scheme of assets that are on the books that we purchased and returned it to the marketplace, how impactful were we, right? Did we use the dollars, like we said we're gonna do it, no doubt. So I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for, when you talk about programs, because we're always being critiqued on programs, right? So let's look at this program and say, okay, was it effective? Yes, we thank you for whatever the amount of money that we got down and the properties that we turned around, and we made whole or restored some families who were out there that needed this type of program, but is it enough? I know we have an NSP3 also, to that extent, so I know we sort of grew the program or embraced other funding mechanisms, but I'm just curious as to, I mean, is there more that we could do here, or I don't know what the answer is. But the only way you can do it is comparative. Did we make an impact? Again, if there's 1,000 foreclosures and we, did 10 houses, is that successful?
Right, I think you'll find, I met with the president of ANDP, our strategic partner in doing this initiative, and they're finishing up a document to show the impact to our tax digest and with Georgia Tech,
right,
and with the chief appraiser.
Yes.
So they'll be finishing that up, and they desire to come out and share that with you in the very near future, so you can see that tax dollar impact and how it was, spread throughout the county. So they'll be coming forward in a few weeks to share something.
That'd be good, that'd be good news. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. All right, thank you. Under tab 7, authorization to submit applications for the summer 2016 ACCG Georgia County Internship Program grant, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents. Frederick, did you have a lot of responses from my department heads?
I absolutely did. I sent an email out to the department heads just to gauge the interest, and got a good amount of yays, if you would, that wanted to apply for this program. So
Okay.
I'd like to move forward with it. The application deadline is October 16th. And just quick overview, 200 hours that the grant covers for a period of May 1st through September 1st. And we submit the applications based on projects, and approval is based on the type of projects that you're recommending that the intern will complete. These are undergraduate and graduate level students, so I expect us to get a good candidate pool.
Are we limited to 2? Or can we apply for more than 2?
We can apply for more than 2.
Okay.
We absolutely can. As a matter of fact, I expect us to be in the 7-8 range, because that's the type of response I've received.
We had one this year in communications. Is that right, Mark?
Yes, sir. I believe so.
Okay, and that turned out very well. Randy, I think at one point had an intern through ACCG, so it's a good program. Not a lot of hours. What did you say, 200 hours?
200 hours over the course of from May to September. They only recommend about 15 hours a week. So it's going to be paid at about $10 an hour.
Okay. Will you tell us who was interested as far as department goes?
Sure. Let me see here. No, I am.
Top of the list.
Ed Dean and GIS, Gary Dukes in Park and Recreation, Lindy Moore in Libraries, Tracy Rock in Planning and Zoning, and she said that her and code enforcement and occupational tax will share one if possible. And Randy just informed me that he's interested in one as well, so.
Good.
I'm actually interested too, if I'm.
Yes, sir, Mr. Robinson.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the question is, this, I mean, this is I think it's a very important program in the sense that these interns that we're pulling them from where? Where are we pulling the interns from?
Now, to my understanding, it's colleges and universities throughout the state of Georgia.
All right, so it is state-based, it's not
Right.
regional, okay, very good. So we're pulling them all over. Do we give some type of consideration for residents that may live here? I'm only asking the question because, again, that's the question.
Well,
That should be part of our application, Frederick. If it's not already, it should be part, when we file this thing, it should state that, we prefer to have local interns.
we could certainly do that. This is obviously my first go around with this program, but we have until the October 16th, like I said, to submit the applications. I can certainly call the Civic Affairs Foundation and see if that's possible for us to request specific students from specific universities around the West Georgia area.
Right, obviously, the home is here, basically, some kind of way. And so, again, it's just a consideration, and if it's not there, that's fine, but again, we want to bring that out. And is there any requirement, or not, could we, but should we, or do we contribute to this? In other words, if we're only getting 1 or 2 interns a cycle because of the dollars that's allocated, but our demand may be greater than what this program offers, is there a way for us to actually contribute to whatever the hours are to make sure that we got the right coverage? Because again, it's taxpayer based. These are, again, advancing the careers of these youth that are out of here. So I don't think that's a hard conversation with the public. But the question is should we?
Well, it certainly helps. It's actually in the criteria for the program that if the county wants to supplement the intern, then that would help with actual approval. So if we want to consider supplementing some of the internships, that'll help us get the number that we're requesting.
No further questions, Mr. Chairman. Thanks, sir.
Mr. Walker.
Commissioner Robinson's question kind of anticipated what I was going to question. This is a very beneficial program. It can be, especially for local youth. I would like to see the county explore parallel funding, explore it. It's just a commission decision, it's not my decision. Explore some type of parallel funding mechanism where we can either have more interns and perhaps influence the local aspect, but that local aspect should not be a limiting factor. The main thing is we want interns to learn about government operations and that sort of thing, but we certainly would like to focus on the local aspect. But I would like us as a county to explore supplementing the cost of this internship. Maybe we can get 4 instead of 2, for example, and do something like that. So I'd like the commission to consider that.
Okay, we will do that, and we'll ask the board to consider that during the budgeting process coming up for the coming year. This is 200 hours paid all completely by the ARC. Of course, we, as a member of the ARC, are paying into those funds, so we're getting a few of our dollars back. So I don't know if that comes into play, Frederick, as far as us saying we would fund so much, especially in this program, because you got a deadline here pretty soon. But in the future, we can take a look and see if local funding does that put us in a better position to get these interns. I know we've had 2 at one time. We only got 1 last year, but let us know if local funding does make a difference as far as whether you get these interns or not.
I will, and, Mr. Chairman, on here, let me see here, somewhere in the, I don't want to take up too much time, but, well, it says the overall impact and benefit of the county proposed ability to partially fund the internship program, all of that is actually printed on the application. That if the county wants to partially fund the internship program, that influence consideration for interns to be granted, so.
Yeah.
Okay. We pay a pretty good fee to be in this Atlanta Reed Commissioner's office. We get back as much of the money that we already pay them as we can get. Okay,
All right.
thank you, Frederick.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Under tab 8, authorization to allow EFI Global to utilize the Douglas County Fire and EMS Department Training Complex and authorize the chairman to sign all necessary documents subject to legal review. Chief Spencer.
Yes, sir. This is a public-private partnership that we would like to help the insurance company out with. Basically, what they do is that they'll come in and they'll actually set fires in our training complex.
We put it out then.
Yes, sir. We'll put it out, and then they will show us how they investigate a fire from the starting phases to when we wash the stuff out the front door. It's a good training opportunity for our guys. It will also give the members that are conducting this class, the Georgia Fire Investigators Association and the International Association of Arson Investigators, opportunity to show their investigators how to investigate fire as well. So the other thing I'd like to mention is that the insurance companies are in partnership with fire departments all over the nation. They assist us with our fire safety education projects. Fire Prevention Week, they provide us with coloring books and little fire helmets sometimes for our fire prevention efforts. So we've already developed this relationship, and this is just kind of our way of helping them do their part better.
Okay. In the past, before we had the training complex, where did our fire inspectors, where did they get their training?
All of it had to be done down in Forsyth, Georgia.
So
Safety training.
this is, we're training our own people as far as fire inspectors go as well, so it's saving us money, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Questions, comments? Yes, sir.
And I have the same question, Mr. Chairman, you know, how do we do it prior to this and so forth, but now, I guess, is there any liability to us for doing this? I mean, how does that work? Like, they
will have to sign an agreement holding us harmless. They have to have the insurance, that Matt will, he'll review their insurance policy and make sure that their liability is covered there. And then we conform to the NFPA 1403 live fire burn standards, which makes sure we have a safety officer on site. We will actually be the ones putting the fire out. We'll adhere to our safety standards that we use on all our fires. So the actual chance of something bad happening is really slim.
But again, I think that you're addressing, the probability is slim, but yet we just want to make sure that we're covered, right? Because
Yes.
we're setting it, right? Man makes things, and we tend to, you know, we can't control everything, we at least can mitigate things. And I just wanted to hear that we're mindful of that and that we're not exposed to something that we're setting, right?
No, sir, some of what they'll be doing is they'll be using incense sticks to show our guys how that could possibly cause a fire.
Yes.
Then when they first came to us, they wanted to use 8 to 12 ounces of gasoline to start one of the fires. And I said, no, that's way too much.
Right.
So now they're down to 2 ounces, 87 octane. I was a little concerned
That's
that,
my
Difference.
point, yeah.
that there may be some residual gas left on our floor.
Yeah.
And I said, no, that's not gonna work either. So they're actually they're gonna come in and build a plywood floor inside of our metal burn building. And then they'll put their furniture and stuff on top of that plywood floor, use the 2 ounces of gasoline, and then we'll put it out, and then they'll investigate it. They'll have their canine accelerant sniffing dogs come in, and so it's going to be a real good training experience for everybody, and I would encourage the commissioners to come over and kind of see what we're doing that day.
I'm encouraged that you weighed in on that, because that was important, Mr. Chairman, just to make sure that, you know, that we're mindful that we didn't want to overexpose ourselves, overdo it.
So absolutely not. We work way too hard to get that training center.
Right.
You know, we abuse it pretty hard when we put our guys through it. But that's what we have to do to, you know, train our guys where they need to be trained, so.
But that's our equipment, but when somebody else comes in and using it, that's a whole different story, so.
Absolutely.
I'm good. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thanks, sir.
Yes, sir. How many days does this last?
It's just a one-day class.
Just one day?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? All right. We're fortunate to have built that with SPOS dollars as well, and saving a lot of taxpayers' dollars by not having the other side for fire training. Okay, that concludes our agenda. Do we need to go into executive
We
session?
do, Mr. Chairman, litigation and real estate.
Litigation and real estate. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same. Motion carries. Y'all want to take a 5-minute break? Okay, 5-minute break, come back. All right, we've satisfied the agenda. Mark, you got anything else?
No, sir.
Anybody got anything else to bring up this morning? All right. This should be a quick meeting tomorrow.
Yeah, don't say that.
Every time I say that, we're in there 2 hours, that's right. All right, thank everybody for being good.
Man, you're gonna see. Oh, excuse me.
Hey, girl.